to Street Beat. I'm your host, Tim Lawless, and today we'll get some insight into a very complicated topic. Randy, help me out here. What was the...
Well, I forgot my makeup, but I can help you. Ready?
Okay.
Money, 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 money.
Ah, that's right, money. Coming up first, it's community correspondent Wei Shen to discuss the global economy. Wei?
Welcome to Street Beat. We are living in an increasingly connected world. And in light of the growing economic crisis facing the United States, this morning we talked to Ted Chu. Ted is the lead economist at General Motors and is a rising star within the company. Ted was born and raised in Shanghai, China, like myself. He earned his PhD from Georgetown University and worked for the World Bank before joining GM. Given his upbringing and professional training across the globe, Ted is in a unique position to offer an interesting and fresh perspective on the current economic condition, particularly with respect to the economic relationship between the United States and China. Ted, thanks for coming on to the show.
Thanks for inviting me, Wei.
Ted, could you explain to our viewers why it is important for us to understand the economic relationship between the United States and China and how vital it is for our future?
This relationship, Wei, is arguably the most important one in the world. The United States is by far the largest economy in the world, and until recently, the most dynamic and innovative. China is the most populous and fastest growing emerging markets in the world. It's the #1 exporter to the U.S. and has the largest amount of foreign reserves. Much of it is invested in U.S. Treasury bonds.
Some people say China has contributed largely to the current global crisis. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's any truth to that?
I think the fundamental cause of the current global crisis is the global financial imbalances. Those who want to blame China have two arguments. First, China takes jobs away from America by exporting cheaper manufactured goods. And secondly, China's cheap money fueled the housing bubble.
I've heard a lot about the first argument. Is it correct to assume that manufacturing decline in the United States is because of China?
I think for all the talk about China becoming the world's factory floor, the size of the U.S. manufacturing sector at $1.4 trillion is still 40% larger than China's $1 trillion. Now, I know that some people feel like we import everything now, especially from China, for the stuff that we use. But the fact is the U.S. manufacturing sector is still growing and pretty much alive until we got into this recession here. On the other side, I think the benefit that China gets from exporting to the U.S. has been exaggerated. Let me give you an example. A pair of Nike shoes that sells for $70 in a U.S. store. The Chinese workers who put the shoes together may get only $7. The rest goes to the raw materials imported to China, goes to transportation, goes to retail, marketing, and the design work, all work done in the United States.
Good. Do you agree that China is responsible for the housing crisis here?
Not at all. I think if you look at countries like Spain or UK, those markets have a similar housing crisis like the US, but China didn't send cheap money there. But over there, you see the same dynamics. I think overall, we needed to change fundamentally the conception that real estate is an investment. I know that a bigger, nicer home is enjoyable, but it adds nothing to the country's capability to produce more goods and services. During the boom, Americans withdraw about $800 billion a year as home equity loans. They basically treated houses as an ATM machine. That's clearly not sustainable. I think what we must do is invest more in the stuff that matters, like education or technology.
Now, what do you think we should ask the Chinese government to do?
At this moment, financial stability, most important of all. I think right now there are 20 million migrant workers in China that's out of job. And that compared with about 10 million total American workers out of job. So I think if the Chinese economy fails, we're going to have bigger consequences. The global economy is going to suffer greatly.
When do you think the economy will recover?
I think it's going to be very, very difficult this year. We're paying the price of two recessions, essentially, because the last recession, as we recall, in 2001, the consumer never cut back. And I think in addition to that, we have structural damages to the financial system. But overall, I think I'm optimistic. I believe the next economic revolution will come. But whether it's going to come from in the United States or China or someplace else, I don't know. History always surprises us.
Ted, thank you for your insight and for your joining us today on Street Beat. If you would like to send me an email, please go to the Street Beat page on the website. Until next time, I'm Wei Shen.
I better get this economy moving. Looks like I've got some global shopping to catch up on. We'll be back with more Street Beat.